Am I really not going to spend any money in 2023? Stay tuned to find out. Well, welcome YouTube friends and family to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. And I want to say a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. And of course, a thank you to my current subscribers as well as my new subscribers. So welcome everyone. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's the day after Christmas when I'm filming this. And once Christmas Day is over, my mind always goes to the upcoming year, and not so much resolutions, but plans. So let me just say to you all, my 2022 kind of went, I had a lot of plans that changed because February 9th of 2022, I moved my mom from her home into an assisted living. I had to sell her home, and I had to sort through and basically auction her assets for her care. So yeah, it kind of went sideways because it required a lot of my time and mom getting used to the facility. And we started out strong with the no spend January. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, is a no spend month, week, or what I'm going to try to do is a year. As usual, y'all, I have some talking notes, so I hope you don't mind if I refer to my talking notes. So what is a low spend or no spend month, or as I'm going to be talking about for myself, a year, but you all can participate in this as well without going to the extent that I am. So what is it? Why would you do it? What is it? So basically, it is a period of time that you determine that you're not going to spend any money beyond what you have to pay. So if you have a car note or a mortgage or rent, gas, electric, water, sewer, you know, those essential items that we must have, you're certainly going to pay any credit cards, any debt. That's probably the best way. But you're going to not spend on extras, you know, like eating out or going to get a coffee when you have a coffee maker, entertainment, movies, events, you know, sporting events. And I'm going to say, I have a lot of additional specific category items. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, you know, kind of how 2022 is going for me and why I want to change it up for 2023. So for me, included in what is it, it's a bit of a pantry challenge. And I'm going to share a whole lot of tips after I share kind of the process that I went through, why I made this decision. Y'all might think I'm crazy, but I'm not. So, for me, in addition to what is it, it's not buying, and I will talk about this extensively, clothes, makeup, crafts, home decor, vintage items. You know, those are, if you've watched my channel, you probably already know. So why am I doing a 2023 instead of just a 1 month, but we're going to do the 1 month on the channel? You need to figure out what your why is. Some of the benefits of doing a no spend challenge, y'all, whether you can just do a week, a day, it really does help reset you and make you think a little bit differently about how you're spending, how you're saving, and what your financial needs are, what your financial future is. So it can help you save money, of course. It can help you reach a goal, like I want to buy a new refrigerator. You know, I'm just making this up. So you set that goal, you reach it. It can be really rewarding, in addition to saving money and, you know, having kind of a financial reset. It also can help you decrease impulse spending if that's one of your issues like mine. I do it. I'm just gonna say. Um, so what are my goals? Why am I doing it again? Um, I want to make myself a stretch goal. It's really easy for me to do a no spend month because I have a robust pantry, and I don't do a lot of the things, like I don't eat out, I don't go to movies. I rarely eat out. Let me not say that I don't eat out, because I certainly have. So I wanted to not make my goals like, okay, well, I do that every day. I wanted to really stretch it. And I thought, I did it for a month. Maybe I could do it for an actual full year. And I have some goals, y'all, around my home. I need some things done that are going to be really pricey. I need new flooring through my whole house. I need new windows and doors. And I really could use some new kitchen countertops. Actually, I'd like a whole new kitchen. So I have some really big goals around doing my home improvement. This also helps build self-discipline for me. So that's one of the reasons I want to do it. And I don't want to dip into my retirement. I have been retired now. It was 3 years in November. And so, you know, I'm trying to realize that I am just about to be 62, but I'm only 61, you know, however you want to look at it. And I have a lot of years ahead, most likely. And I want to have the money that I need to take care of my needs. And I also would like to have money, you know, when I pass away, but I don't really have a lot of control over that. I know that sounds kind of morbid, but anyway. So anyway, what are the rules? Well, there are no rules. Y'all can do what y'all can do. So you're going to be making your own rules relative to your income, to your budget, to your needs, and to your goals. So I can't tell you the best way to do it. What I can tell you, and we're going to go into that, is what are my rules and why did I make those rules? I hope you'll stay tuned. I debated on whether or not I wanted to share my rules. I mean, my goals are pretty simple. I think a lot of people have home improvement goals, right? But this kind of opens up my weaknesses as I've looked back on 2022. And that's my first recommendation. Take a look back at your spending, maybe not for this month or previous month. You know, we're right in the heart of the holiday season, but what were you doing in July, August, and September? How are you spending your money? So one of the things that I am trying to not do is spend money on health, beauty, and cosmetics. And I don't mean like I'm a beauty. I mean health and beauty aids. I should have said that a little bit different. So I make a lot of products. And a lot of times I'm like, if I don't have it on the shelf, I'll just buy it. And not only is it healthier for me to use my own products, but it's a lot less expensive. I also have this new rule about not buying any makeup, you know, unless I'm completely out. So I do wear some makeup every day. One of the things I always do is, you know, like moisturize, and I do wear foundation for the SPF because I do sunburn so easily. But unless I'm completely out of everything that I use on a daily basis, and I can only buy one. So there's a rule for me. Number 2, craft supplies. Y'all, I love me some good craft supplies. But my new rule is use what I have on hand. Don't start any new craft hobbies. And also I can only purchase if it's for my items I'm selling. So in other words, if I need thread or a piece of fabric specifically for making canning mats and mitts. So yeah, my craft addiction, my craft room, you know, you gotta address what is real to you. Number 3 for me is clothes, and that is buy nothing unless I need undergarments, and I probably don't, but I wanted to make that allowance. Nobody wants to go around with holy drawers, right? So I love vintage clothing. I love dresses and y'all never see me in them. You know, so I'll buy them, wear them once, and then they hang in the closet. So no clothes this year. Nothing, nada. No cute chicken shirts. Just telling you my weakness. And no, ooh, that's a really pretty vintage sweater, and I can always use a sweater. Yeah, none of that. Okay, number 4 has to do with seeds and gardening. I love to go through the gardening catalog, and then like I get all these different seeds, and then I have too much. So I have a lot on hand. Living in Ohio, I do pre-start them. I actually bought and haven't used because it's the wrong season, the insert for my hydroponic water grow system, and I have the seed pod starters, so I need to be starting the seeds. If the seeds are bad because I've had them too long, I need to get rid of them, not be a seed collector for sure. And then gardening, I like to buy gardening tools, things to expand my garden is probably okay. But at any rate, I added, and you'll see it in the spring, 2 big beds to my garden. They're both 4 by 8. So I do have more area to plant, which is really good. But I'm only going to buy the seeds that I don't have. And you know, like I know I'm out of green bean seeds. I seed saved from last year, but I didn't like the long beans like I thought I would. So I want bush beans. Anyway, let's talk about groceries. So I need to really right size my pantry. I have a lot of canned food. I don't want it to be on the shelf for too long. So I need to eat from that and not can any more jelly for like 20 years. Okay. And then also I am the drop coordinator for Azure Standard for my area. In compensation for doing that, I get a small credit depending on how large the drop is. I need to stop at whatever my drop size is, you know, however much money I have, instead of spending more. So that's a goal. You know, my exception to that would be, of course, you know, chicken feed, but I have a lot of things on hand and I don't need to have a 20-year supply of everything. All right. The next item, that is a rule for me, no new kitchen gadgets. Y'all, I love me a good kitchen gadget, but I have a lot of things that I don't put to full use. And I want to use what I have. I have everything I need, and stop buying it because it's cool, it's new, it's the latest, whatever. Okay, Amazon. Y'all, how easy is it to pick up your phone, scroll through, and then, you know, oh, there's the deal of the day, you know, from Amazon, and you push a button, and if you have an Amazon card, you push another button, and it shows up on your doorstep, you know, very quickly, sometimes the next day, sometimes the same day. So I'm going to use Amazon only on the subscribe and save that I need for animals and a couple grocery items that I get that are cheaper there than I can buy here. All right, next rule for me, no new cleaning supplies. I want to use everything I already have on hand. Y'all, I have a lot of Mrs. Meyer's, things like that. And go to using Thieves it's like an all-purpose spray instead of anything else, instead of Grove, instead of I've got to have the seasonal scents. I don't have to, as I've learned. Decor, no new decor, even if it's for a YouTube video, period. Y'all, I have so much stuff, and then when my mom moved, I have mom's stuff, and my son always leaves a bunch of stuff, so I have all the stuff. But seriously, I have plenty of seasonal decor that is appropriate for YouTube. I don't need to buy more. All right, next. I will buy no new organizers, journal books, all of those things. Yeah, I have so much on hand, and it's one of the things that I enjoy buying, and I'm not going to buy any, period. All right. For our No Spend January, I want to do weekly check-ins just to say how I'm doing, to give you words of encouragement, and also to tell you kind of what I've learned. You know, I'm in a little bit different situation than some of you are. I don't have a spouse and I don't have children in the home, so you know, I don't have to get anyone's agreement on the things that I decide to do. So you have a bit more of a challenge to make sure, you know, that your family is on board. So I do want to have our weekly check-ins and talk about how it went, what went well, what didn't. All right. So for home improvements, only like emergency type home improvements. I do have a Lowe's gift card. So anything I really need, I need to go to that card first, or, you know, just use the items I have on hand if it's a repair that I can do. All right, next is, in addition to the low and no spend years that people do, I would also like to do a lowering of bills that I have control over. So basically utilities, water, sewer, gas, electric. So I told you all it was a stretch goal. So let me give you a couple tips about how you might get started. We're almost to January 1 on a no spend January. So what are my tips for a no spend or low spend January or year? First of all, plan ahead. You know your why. Set your goals, set the length of time you're gonna do it. Y'all, if you wanna do it by the weeks because that works better for you and you wanna do a 4 week, a 1 week, a 1 day, whatever works for you. Do have rules, but you also wanna make sure you don't go out and spend, you know, a ton of money on December 31st because you wanna have everything, but make sure you have your essential supplies on hand, at least to start. It will get you off to a good start. Always list your exceptions because there always are exceptions. I have a few. And review your previous, I'm sorry. Hold on. I apologize, y'all. I still have my chickens in the garage because of the extreme low temperatures. It's gonna snow today. It's still only 10 degrees here in Ohio. But I had to stop because I'm like, wait, what? Because my garage is right behind us. So this is what was going on. They were having some chicken wars over the little nesting area. Yeah. So I had to go kind of sort it out. So let me put my eggs away and I'll get back to our discussion. All right, what I was about to say was, as you're, you know, planning ahead, review your previous spending. How have your habits been? You know, November and December are a little bit different, but that will kind of give you some ideas about where your problem areas might be. All right, tip, use recipe websites for items that you have in your pantry. Pardon me, y'all, I'm thirsty. So I have a lot of canned beans, like soup beans, that type of thing. So you can actually put it in, let's see, it's called Super Cook. I'll leave it in the description box. And My Fridge Food, there's a bunch, even all recipes, you can get ideas that way. But that way you're really utilizing your pantry and having it work for you. You're not having food that degrades because even though it's still canned and it isn't spoiled, you've lost a lot of vitamin content. Okay, another good one. Remove your credit or debit card that is on file with sites that you shop a lot. So Amazon, y'all, it is so easy for me to order from Amazon because I have an Amazon credit card, which I do pay weekly, but still, you know, you don't really feel like you're spending money sometimes when you're just doing it that way. If you have to, you know, go in and, you know, you haven't created an account or you delete your account, then you have to go in and put in like your name and your address and the billing info and your credit card number every time. You're a lot less likely to impulse spend than you would if you just you know, push purchase, that lovely button that flashes sometimes. Okay, the next thing, take a look at your current subscriptions and ask yourself, is it a need, is it a want, is it something I need to continue with? So things like, for me, Young Living, I need to make sure that the oils and things that I'm ordering are things that I need for my health and well-being, and not just, you know, loading up the cart with things I'm going to get every month. Grove is another example. I'm not buying anything from Grove. Sorry, Grove, in 2023. Things like BoxyCharm, which is a makeup and skincare. Television, you know, if you have cable, do you have the smallest plan? Do you really need the cable? I don't have cable. Or subscriptions to, you know, Netflix, Hulu. They're not super expensive, but if it's something you're not using, you might want to consider just deleting that. Apps that you pay for, I don't have any of those. Games you pay for, I don't have any of those. But those are some things that you might take a look at and say, do I really need to have this? You can return items that, hate to say it, that you receive for Christmas that aren't right for you, that you're not going to use. And you can also sell items that you're not using or donate them, you know, for the tax benefit. During your no spend period, hey, if you've got gift cards, use those up. Then I would suggest that you write things down that you don't want to buy. That you do want to buy. Put it on a list that you don't want to buy right now. And wait a month, and at the end of No Spend January, take a look at your list and see, are those really even things I need? Or I worked around it, or I found something better, or I forgot I had it? That can be super valuable. I also think it's important, instead of focusing on, I can't do this, is to actually track your savings. Nothing rewards more than hearing the cha-ching go into your savings account. Compare it to your previous months where you weren't doing no spend. All right, move your excess money, and I'll talk about what I mean by that, to savings from checking. So let's say you really get into this, and at the end of your pay period, make it an imaginary week, you have more money left in your checking account than you need. Don't leave it there, move it over to your savings so you're not tempted to say, oh, well, I have the money for it. Oh, it's only $9.99. All right, have theme nights. You know, even as a single person, I can do that. I can do it around YouTube. So I received some pasta dies, yes, for my machine for Christmas. So I can do like a pasta night, you know. You can make it fun. Watch old movies, you know, on DVD, or YouTube has a lot of movies as well. And that's another tip. Watch the free stuff. Also, read. How long has it been since you've read? If you have Audible, use the books that you have. Don't purchase more. Maybe reread them and get a second benefit from them. Did I say podcast? If not, I meant podcast as well. Go to some free community events. Our library has a lot. I'm embarrassed to say this, so does our senior center, but you know, utilize that. Sometimes if you're near a state park, they have free events. It's a little cold in the winter, but maybe they would have one indoors. All right, make a list of the problems that you will encounter that are counterintuitive to no spending, and some possible solutions. So for example, let's say I shop for clothes when I'm bored, and the solution is I'm gonna go and look at all of my vintage patterns and make a plan for some of my fabric. All right, another thing is, this is a great time when you're not utilizing expensive entertainment to do learning, and we should always be growing and learning. Track your slip-ups. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be perfect. I need to stay out of all these, the fun aisle, I call it. But Joe, I have to tell you, I bought my son this huge thing of olives, and he is delighted with it. Well, I think I showed it in the basket video. He was so excited about it. He was like, I saw that at Aldi, Mom, but it was 10 bucks. I've raised my kid right, that's for sure. But anyway, track your slip-ups. And then when you have one, make a strategy for how you will deal with that same issue in the future. It's a good time to organize and declutter, because you might find things you didn't know you have that you want to sell on Facebook Marketplace or donate or whatsoever. Another thing I do, but I always do this, is sort your mail over the trash. Guys, don't even open and look at those catalogs, because then you want to buy something. Unsubscribe from sales type email that are trying to sell something that you love. And then finally, think about need versus want. You know, I don't have a lot of needs, but I have a lot of wants, and I'm going to curb my wants in 2023. And I think it's going to be a fun journey. I'm not going to turn this into a financial advisor type channel, but I just want to share kind of my journey, and I'm sure you all can share a lot of good tips with me too. All right, I will see you all again very soon. I hope you all had a Merry, Merry Christmas. It's just the morning after Christmas, so I have not taken down any decor, and probably won't for another week because I'm enjoying it. But I will see you soon. Until then, smash that like button. Be healthy, be well, be blessed. Take care.